Hello, my name is Mariam Rajabi, and I am a trauma recovery coach and brain spotting practitioner. Traumatic or highly disturbing events can potentially leave us with unprocessed emotions that stay stuck in the body, causing uncomfortable sensations, sometimes so subtle that you might not even notice. At some point in time that I was dealing with a lot of difficulties in my personal life, I randomly experienced sudden, inexplicable waves of heat as if my nerves were on fire. And with that came feelings of resentment and frustration. I knew that it was all related to the recent events in my life, but I couldn't necessarily make sense of it logically. What I was experiencing was mainly bodily sensations and emotions that came to the surface. Today, I'm going to share with you an exercise which stopped those overwhelming moments when I almost wanted to punch any object that was in front of me, and I mean any object. If you ever find yourself overreacting to something or overwhelmed by your emotions, you might find this exercise as helpful to you. Now, let's go through it. When feeling emotionally dysregulated or experiencing uncomfortable body sensations, try moving your eyes from one side to another on a horizontal line. This eye movement is similar to rapid eye movement that happens during sleep. As you do this, you alternately activate the right and the left side of your brain, which are correspondingly related to your emotional and the thinking sides of the brain. These successive activations then regulate your emotions through the lens of rationale without your direct intervention. So you are connecting your emotions and logical thoughts at the same time that you're doing this exercise. Adjust the speed of your eye movements based on what feels right to you. High energy feelings such as anger or irritation typically need you to have faster eye movements compared to feelings of sadness and lethargy. So, if I'm angry or anxious, I might be moving my eyes at a faster pace, but if I'm sad and low, then I would be moving my eyes at a much slower pace. Whatever feels right to you in a way. So, as you're doing this, notice if you have a tendency to stop at any spot while you're moving from one side to another. For instance, if as I'm moving my eyes from right to left, I notice that there's always a spot to my right that when I get past it, I feel sadness and I feel my chest is heavy or my throat is constricted. Then I would choose to stay at that spot and fixate my gaze at that spot for a bit longer to see what happens. And as I do that, I try to follow my train of thoughts, notice what emotions come up, what body sensations arise, and just mindfully follow all of that. Although, if looking at a spot brings up too intense of emotions, then at that point, like too intense that I can't tolerate, because too intense is not always bad, but too intense that is almost like making me super uncomfortable or almost throwing me out of my window of tolerance, then I would stop and not do this on my own. And even some people might find it hard to sit in their pain alone. So, in any of those cases, feel free to seek professional help. But the eye movement part is typically very benign and wouldn't and shouldn't throw you out of your window of tolerance or make things too difficult to handle. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the exercise. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. You can find more information about me on my website, mariamrajabi.com. Thank you and happy exercising.